Time to wake up. It's Saturday morning. Find some milk and cereal. Grab a bowl and spoon. No, a bigger spoon. Head to the living room and take a seat on the floor while Joseph and Chris present to you Saturday Morning Cartoon!
Hello everybody, welcome to Saturday Morning Cartoon Boom! This is a show where we wake up with the Saturday morning sun, plop down on the floor with a big bowl of sugary cereal, and we'll try your favorite cartoons, both old and new. I'm Joseph.
And I'm Chris.
And this morning, we watched Men in Black, the series.
Wait, I don't remember. Someone came in with what looked like a toothbrush holder and pressed a button, and I saw a flash, and I don't remember what we watched.
You know what? I don't either. What
happened?
Who are you? Why are we? What am I doing here?
Where am I? Why do I have two heads?
Oh, wait, it's all coming back now.
Oh, yes. Okay, I remember. We watched Men in Black.
Yeah, we
totally
did.
Forgot about that. But yeah, and this was suggested to us by Christopher Valencia. I'm not going to make the orange joke this time that I always do, but I did just draw attention to it. But thank you.
Yeah, in just mentioning it, you brought attention to it, and thus the legend continues. Thank you, Christopher Valencia. The myth, the legend.
Yeah, the orange.
The show Men in Black, the series, aired from 1997 to 2001, based on obviously, well, I say obviously, but I didn't know this, based off the Men in Black comic book that was written by Lowell Cunningham.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Men in Black was a comic book before it was a movie, and
really?
I had no idea. It was called The Men in Black, but it was the same concept. This was like, I think this came out in 1990, if I remember what I read. And the movie came out years later, I think also in 97, actually.
Yeah.
But and was directed by Ed Solomon. I didn't even know it was a comic book first. So I was really like interested in checking that out. I wonder how much of the original, like how much of the comic book is retained in the show and or movie.
Yeah, I'm interested to check that out now, because now I realize there's a whole lot more to this whole thing than I thought there was. Usually you and I are on the up and up as far as comics go, and I had no idea this existed. I
think it's because it came out in a time when it wasn't as like cool to base things off comic books. Although we did have like The Mask a few years earlier and things like that.
I just figured it was based on the real life government agents that show up in your house and like rip everything up and tell you didn't see nothing. Like the second you get probed by an alien, they're like, you didn't. And you were never here. And we were never here, and you don't even exist.
Yeah, the comic book is probably based off actual events that happened to this Lowell Cunningham.
Like what was that game? There was a game, I think it starts with a P, that was like famous, where it was like it was in an arcade and like it was messing with people, and then supposedly these Men in Black showed up, and then the game disappeared and was never seen again.
Pong.
No, I don't.
No.
Polybius.
Oh,
that was
Polybius.
The name of the game.
Yes, that was the name. Yeah, you're right.
It was like an arcade game, and then it was like brainwashing people, and then I think it was somewhere in like either Oregon or Washington, and then the Men in Black show up, and they're like, "This game was never here," and then it's never seen again.
But what was it brainwashing people to do? Because every arcade game brainwashed people to put in more quarters.
I think it was just they were becoming like zombies or something. Like it was trying to like reprogram people. Like the theory is it was a government, like it was like a test. Like the government was seeing like they couldn't, kidnap people and go to trials on this brainwash software. So they're like, oh, dude, let's put it in an arcade. That'll be hilarious. We can watch all these guys, and then they did it. It's all true, I'm sure.
I need to see like a documentary on this or something. I bet it exists.
Oh, we'll find it. So help us find the Polybius documentary, people, or let us know. Tell us if you've ever seen any hints of the game itself.
If anyone would know, it would be the legend Christopher Valencia.
Yeah, Christopher Valencia. Where's that game, bro?
So
I've got tokens.
Getting a little back on track here, developed by Dwayne Capizzi, Jeff Klein, and Richard Reynes, produced by Amblin Television, Adelaide Productions, and Columbia TriStar Television, ran for 4 seasons, 53 episodes on the Kids WB network, And for a short synopsis, guess who it was written by?
Oh, dude, really?
Kenneth Chisholm,
Kenneth.
who writes every single thing on IMDb, apparently.
He is IMDb.
He is.
He is the database.
The continuing adventures of Agents K and J as they deal with problems with extraterrestrials in New York City. That's a very bare bones description, a little bit underwhelming compared to Kenneth Chisholm's past synopsi.
C plus, Kenneth.
Yeah.
C plus.
Passing, but just barely. But who are some of the actors who played in this show?
All right, so the voice of K was provided by Greg Berger, who is famous for the voice of Grimlock from the original Transformers and certain other subsequent series, including some of the video games as well. He was also the Grumble from Real Monsters. I was experimenting with my there. I wasn't sure where I wanted to go with it, and it
went all over the place.
It went where it went. The voice of J was provided by Keith Diamond. The voice of L provided by Jennifer Lean. The voice of Z provided by Charles Napier. The voice of Jeebs provided by Billy West, a famous voice actor we have talked about many, many times. Fry from Futurama and all kinds of other things. You know him. You've heard that voice so many times. Don't ask me about this. Frank the Pug was voiced by Eddie Barth. And the Worms, little worm guys, were voiced by two people, Pat Fraley, who has done a lot of stuff, including Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He was the original voice of Krang. And then Patrick Piney. So that's our voice cast, our main voice cast for the show. And
for a few tasty marshmallows out of our big bowl of MIB cereal, Vincent D'Onofrio, who played Edgar the Bug in Men in Black, the actual movie, voices all the bugs, the same species bugs, like those roach guys who appeared in the series.
That was Vincent D'Onofrio? Really?
Suppose that's what IMDb tells me.
Holy crap, that's awesome. That's Kingpin, man.
I know, and I didn't even know that was him in the original movie.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Nice, dude. I love that dude.
Yeah, Jeeves was mostly voiced by Billy West, like you said, but in some episodes he was actually voiced by Tony Shalhoub, who plays Jeeves in the movie.
Oh, that's fun.
So there's a lot of like crossover from the actual movie to the show, which is interesting because you rarely see that. Usually they detach themselves from the cartoons, so it's fun to see some crossover here.
Yeah, seriously.
And it's rumored that the show was only supposed to last for 3 seasons, but got extended for 4. This can be seen in the 3rd season finale, where a bug attack occurs and Agent J is thrown out of the MIB, but returns, coming full circle to the Men in Black movie. But the 4th season comes in and was also marked with new characters and an alternate opening sequence. But I wonder if it's one of those 4th seasons it was like worse than the rest because they
probably
like budget cuts and like they changed the art style and everything. I don't know. I don't know that to be true, but that's usually the case.
A lot of cartoons kind of go out that way, so I wouldn't be surprised.
So had you ever seen this show? You obviously heard of the movie. It's like a huge thing, and I think they're coming out with a 3rd one relatively soon.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't want any more.
But had you ever seen this show when it was airing?
Yeah. I did watch the cartoon as a kid, and I remember like the first couple of times I saw it, and I was like, "This is cool," and then I kind of stopped liking it, and I don't remember exactly why, other than I think it was that Kids WB every once in a while, like these channels would be like, okay, well, this show is now on a break for a while. What do we fill this in? We'll just play extra episodes of this other show. And I think that happened with this, where they kept playing episodes. And I was like, God, I'm sick of this show. So familiar with it, and came into this not too excited to watch it again.
I was kind of excited to watch it again because I remember liking it from when I was a kid. I don't think I had that same overdose you had, so maybe I didn't catch all the reruns or something. But I do. It was one of those, the intro especially, where I was like, that song has been like in the back of my mind for the longest time, and I couldn't ever remember what it was from. But it would be something that I would like hum to myself every once in a while, just randomly, and I'd be like, well, I don't know what that's from, but I like it. And this is what it was. And so it was kind of a rediscovery thing for me, where it brought back a lot of nostalgia. And I really like the intro a lot. Like even the animation of the intro is cool. Like they don't just play like scenes from the show or anything. Like it's all animated specifically for the intro. And I dig it how it like goes with the song. Like it's paced with the song intentionally. And I really like that about it.
Yeah, I'll give them this. The opening music is pretty cool. I like it. The animation of this cartoon in its entirety is pretty good. And in fact, I was thinking about this today when I should have been working, that it doesn't remind me of like a typical 90s animation style. Like, I feel like they were a little ahead of the curve because this style is what you see in the early 2000s to like, you know, like mid 2000s. Like when I think of shows like Megas XLR and some of the stuff, I feel like a lot of those shows that developed later on after this big 90s boom kind of took a cue from shows like this as far as the animation style. So yeah, like I feel like it does not, it very much stands out from other cartoons from that era.
I'll tell you what it really reminded me of art-wise was Extreme Ghostbusters.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
And that came out the same year, so I wonder if it's by the same animation studios or something.
Would not be surprised.
Even tone-wise, like it kind of felt like that too. But let's go ahead and jump into the episode to watch for today's show. The very first episode, highest rated episode, and finally a random listener chosen episode. Order may vary depending on how these episodes fall chronologically, but of course we have to start with the very first episode, which was The Long Goodbye Syndrome. Oh, that's something also about each episode. It starts with the and ends with syndrome. It's just two words crunched in there usually.
Because everything is a syndrome.
In this case, yes. The Long Goodbye Syndrome, Season 1, Episode 1. Jay makes a rookie mistake and it costs him. An alien race of slug-like beings wants him dead. It's up to his partner Kay to make things right and save him from annihilation. This was a cool starting episode, I thought.
I just like the idea that they introduce you pretty quick that this show does not shy away from violence whatsoever. If you think about it, like it's masked because it's, you know, humans or not humans. It's aliens for the most part. But like when Jay gets this alien race angry, it's because he blew one of them up. I mean, just annihilated this alien and then does it again.
The only thing separating this from a rated M cartoon is the blood being green instead of red, basically.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, like I know what you mean. Like it's very like high stakes, much more than I remembered it being. And even the whole Jay being marked after blowing that thing up, it wasn't just because like the smell was on him. Like his DNA was marked by this species of slug things who were able to take on, you know, other forms or whatever, as most of these aliens were. So that's something I guess to point out early too, because it's going to come up a lot.
Yeah.
Is the aliens, if you've seen the movie, you know this, but these aliens are able to like purchase human suits to dress up in and essentially act as if they were humans. And for all intents and purposes, they do look like them. So that's something that comes up a lot.
Let's call it what it is. We know from the movie that, you know, these aren't some sort of fabricated suits. They're wearing the skin of people. Wow, it makes things real dark.
Well, they do pass it off by saying that they purchased the like skin suits from Jeeves. So my understanding in the cartoon's case is that they are artificial suits. They're not human skins.
Yeah, I don't know. They never make that distinction that they're artificial. I mean, Jeeves got those from somewhere. I'm pretty sure they got a human farm.
Well, and maybe that's why they're sold illegally behind the, you know, like under the table.
That's exactly why they're illegal.
And so, like, Jade blows this thing up. He gets marked by this species. And then throughout the episode, it's really sort of him being chased down by these slugs. Like, he's not worried about it at first. Like, he's just like, whatever about it. And then everybody, not just Kay, is pretty much like, dude, you're dead. Like, even the, like, the twins, Bob and the name that I couldn't even try to say. They're the thinkers of the group. They're the ones who come up with these plans. And they just give him like a going away party, like a goodbye Jay party. Goodbye.
Yeah, all these people are telling Kay like to consider them for his new partner and stuff. Like Elle does it. I mean, you know, jokingly, but I mean, she still does it. So Jay's just like, what the heck, man? Like everyone just like back off. And what I like too is because he killed the one and now he's all paranoid because Kay has this machine that just freezes them. And they use that a lot, I guess, from this point on. And he freezes this one, I don't know, slug creature that was coming after him. And then Jay goes to Elle and he's like, you know, hook me up with as much stuff as you can before I get killed. And then he has all this gear to the point where he can't walk correctly because he's just so heavily armored with all these guns and stuff. And of course he trips and then shoots the frozen one and blows it up too. So like it just kind of redoubled the efforts there of these slugs hating him and wanting him to die. And that was funny to me. At that point, like he gets a threat that they're going to put him in the soup, whatever that means.
Yeah, which I think turns out to be acid of some sort.
Yeah, I think so. The tomato bisque.
At a certain point, we see Jay and Kay get called over to this restaurant because someone's choking. There's someone trying to give like the Heimlich to him, but like he's like, there's no food coming out. I don't know what's going on. It ends up being one of those little dudes who hides in the head, like a tiny alien who basically pilot these human suits around.
Oh, yeah.
And so like Kay kind of pulls him out of there and like pushes on his little belly and it pushes the food out.
I've got it on good authority from another podcast that you used to listen to called Nerds on Tap, that Nick Cage is actually one of those things. He's a robot person with one of those tiny little aliens in his head.
That would make sense, actually.
I don't know who came up with that on that show, but I heard that it's true.
I don't know. I don't trust their sources. We'll have to reach out to them and have them do their research.
Yeah, those hosts, I don't trust them.
Yeah. Anyway, so basically the little alien is like, I owe you one. And it kind of, nothing happens from there. And you're like, okay, well, that's just a side thing. Luckily, that comes back full circle in a cool way. Like I was kind of surprised by it. It's like I should have seen it coming, but I didn't really until it got there.
Yeah, me too.
So Jay is marked for death, and it's not like there was an easy way out of it. What ends up happening is Kay kind of shows the aliens slugs like his snot or something. I guess that's a huge offense to them. Like even worse than blowing one of them up is showing your snot to them, your mucus. So then Kay becomes a guy and he's like, all right, well, just take over my spot, Jay. And, Kay is getting taken off onto this ship and he's getting put into the soup. And I'm like, man, where's this going to go? Is Kay just going to, I don't remember him being dead. Like, what's going to happen here?
Right.
And it turns out it was just the dude who was wearing the human suit. Then I was concerned about him. I'm like, how's he getting out of this? And then the aliens turn away and he just kind of flies off on this tiny ship out of the head while the K body sinks into the soup. All is resolved. Everyone's happy, even the slug aliens, because they think they got their perpetrator, and that was that. But that was a cool start to an episode and kind of high stakes, and I was surprised by that.
Yeah, I was very thrown off with the whole K thing, and it was weird to me too, because when K does that, where he's just like, offends them to the point that they're gonna take him instead of Jay, but also in a way that like Kay's talking about how, like he's gonna die, and he just seems totally nonchalant about it. Like he doesn't care. I'm like, this dude's got a death wish for sure, but they were pulling the rug out from us.
He was way too chill about that, but I still didn't.
Exactly.
I didn't know what was coming. I should have, but didn't. So good on him. That was cool.
And shame on us.
Yeah, shame on us. We are adults and we should have known.
We should have seen it.
The second episode we watched for today's show was The Black Christmas Syndrome, season 2, episode 10, which I chose because here's what happened. I was just looking through season 2 to see what was going on, and I saw a Halloween episode, but I was like, no, I won't pick that one because that would be too predictable. And then I spotted this Christmas one, and it was Black Christmas, which is one of my favorite Christmas horror movies. So yes, I'm still tying it to horror, but in a different way. And plus, it's that time of year, so it's a perfect kind of episode to bring to the show.
You have a very twisted mind, Joseph. Very twisted mind.
Black Christmas Syndrome. When Drek kidnaps Santa Claus, MIB must save Christmas.
That's true. This episode was just... I don't think the episode as a whole was great, but the setting, the plot cracked me up. Just the idea of what was happening was very funny to me.
It was really entertaining. Yeah, like I like that in this universe, I guess. So Santa Claus does exist. He's not an alien, but he is some kind of magic, I guess, or some sort of like,
yeah, I don't know, man,
god of nature. They never specify, but
yeah, but he's real.
Yeah, at one point they say like, some things are even bigger than the MIB or the Men in Black. Because Jay asked about it. He thinks because the elves are aliens who have come to the planet, but Santa's not. He's just a magical dude, I guess. I don't know.
What happens is like we see Santa, he's sleeping, he's getting, he's got to get his beauty sleep for his big night. So I guess this is the day before. This must be Christmas Eve's Eve, if you will. The elves are hard at work, and then these freaking Yetis bust through this cabin with guns, and just come on, Yetis with guns. That's just great. That's funny. They're being led by this big alien named Drek, who has them trash the workshop and kidnap Santa. And so it's the Men in Black are basically on the case to try to locate Drek and get Santa back before Christmas, or at least Christmas Eve, because in the event that Santa cannot perform his duties, it falls to the Men in Black to deliver presents all over the world. And particularly Zed, their boss, was going to be the one that has to dress up as Santa. And I just real quick, I want to mention that I like the character Zed. Actually, he's as little as we see him, he's my favorite character on the show, and I love his voice because he sounds a lot like Ed Asner, like a lot like Ed Asner.
Yeah, you know what? That's true. I would have thought that's who voiced him had you not said otherwise.
Same here. I originally went into this thinking that's got to be who it is, but I was wrong.
No, he is a great character though. Like he doesn't, like you said, he doesn't say much, doesn't get too much screen time. But when he is there, he kind of steals the scene because he's a very powerful. He has that very powerful voice and is very commanding.
Yeah, I just like how deadpan he always is too.
That's a lot of this show too. It's like it's not like super action packed or anything. There's great action scenes, but it's kind of dry in most cases. And even the art style kind of matches that because it's so desaturated.
Yeah. They hook up with this elf named Mickey. And like you said, they are aliens. They're these short little, I mean, they look like elves, but they've got antenna and they're green. So they team up with Mickey, who's kind of a creep in a way. Like, I don't know, man. He's just like a creepy little Brooklyn elf alien. He's kind of I don't know. He's kind of sarcastic, a little rough around the edges. He can pick locks and do all that kind of stuff. But he was still like the interactions with him and the Men in Black were pretty fun.
So one of the side stories here, and really kind of something that went on throughout the whole episode, was Jay was also trying to find the perfect present for Kay.
Oh yeah.
He was like, he couldn't figure out what to get him. Like nobody knew him enough to know. And I really like, the reason I even bring that up is because I really like the way that kind of got resolved at the end too. There's a lot of these things that seem really small and aren't going to go anywhere, but from what we saw, at least, everything was kind of tied up nicely.
I did like the whole like gift giving aspect of this because like I'll tell everyone I've got present giving anxiety like crazy. I always freak out that I don't know what to get people, and I always figure out something to get them, but for at least a couple weeks is pure panic. So Jay's like, he's giving people gifts and stuff, and then Elle's just like, what'd you get for Kay? And he's like, oh, I'm not going to get him anything. Why would he give me something? Then Kay immediately gives him a present, and I thought that was funny. Yeah. The other thing I liked is that he went to give Frank the pug a present. So Frank, if you guys haven't seen the movie, he literally is a pug, but it's like an alien in a pug suit, basically, I believe. Or maybe it's an alien that looks like a pug. Maybe that was it. Anyway, that character is great. He's one of the best characters of the show, and we don't see him nearly enough. But I like when Jay goes to give him a present, he's like, I'm Jewish. That just cracked me up. I love the idea of this Jewish pug alien. And
then he's just like, the gift's multicultural. And he gives him a scarf because he was freezing his tuchus off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, a tuchus warmer.
And just to try to like sway him to give him some ideas on what to get Kay.
Exactly. Oh, so there's this whole thing. Kay and Jay kind of split up. Kay and Elle, they go to another thing because they find out who Drek is working for. It's this race of aliens that are basically like children. They have like the intelligence of 7-year-olds.
Even though they live for, I can't remember how long they said, but even though they live a very long time, they stay at the maturity level of a 7-year-old.
Yeah, so basically they go to intercept those aliens and kind of make them stop and everything. In the meantime, Jay and Mickey find Santa Claus. They make a rescue attempt and run into the Yetis and Drek and all that good stuff. So there's like, a big showdown and everything. and they rescue Santa and get the sleigh, the MIB get the sleigh all packed up and he's ready to take off, but Drek got onto the sleigh as it takes off. So then Jay has to jump on and they go through this big old fight. And the big joke of this fight is that Santa throws Jay Drek's stocking and he swings it and hits Drek in the face and knocks him off the sleigh. And it turns out it's because it was just a big lump of coal inside.
Yeah. And Drek has these hands that I guess are just always
They're like
burning,
molten,
like hot,
yeah.
burning molten lava. And so he's holding onto the bottom of the sleigh, one of the legs of it, and it just starts to melt as he falls to the ground.
Because he's been praying to lava Jesus.
He granted him his gift.
That's his form of stigmata.
So at that point, Santa kind of feels maybe not indebted to Jay, but at least thankful to him enough to where he is able to sneak a present under the tree for Kay. Because Jay's kind of at the point where he's like, oh, man, I'm sorry, I didn't get you anything. But then he's like, oh, look, there it is under the tree. And he gets it. And he gave him original copy of The Christmas Carol, which was Kay's favorite book. So he's like, man, you did good. And then Jay's relieved that he got something. Just was a wholesome, happy ending where Santa was thankful and he snuck that gift in.
It's true.
I liked it.
Yeah.
So the last episode of today's show was the Mine Syndrome, season 3, episode 10. This was the highest rated episode, but a bug queen is in town with her 2 bug escorts, and it is up to MIB to find her before she can lay her eggs and infest the city.
So this is the one that the whole human suit thing creeps me out in this one particularly because these are bugs that are like from the movie, like the big roach dudes. So the 2 roach henchmen get suits and they do look like they're probably, human skin. Like they look like they're a little rotted because they're a little discolored. They're looking a little just not right on them. It looks like the dude in the movie. But the queen who is in the skin of a tiny, like a little, I don't know, 5-6-year-old girl. That's just creepy, man. That's so morbid. Like, who skinned this little girl to get this human suit?
That's why I really want to hope it was an artificial thing. But even if not, the idea of that based on what we learn in the movie is pretty morbid, like you said.
Yeah, because he like sucks the human out of the skin, right? Like, and then wears it. Isn't that how it worked or something? I don't know.
I think so, man. It's been a long time.
Right.
However it happened, that's still just such a terrible thought. At the same time, like that this bug queen is trying to find a way to infest the city with her eggs, the Emperor Worm, Emperor of the Worm guys, is in town also. He's trying to learn English, and he's also, just trying to find a place to stay that's worthy of his stature. And that's like kind of a great comedic side thing going on. It does tie into the main story because he ends up staying in the same hotel that the bug queen ends up staying in too. So that's where that crossover happens. But what's funny is so these worm guys are like addicted to coffee.
Oh, yeah.
And that's something you see in the movie also. But when this big guy comes, they're super nervous because he's eating all their food or whatever and drinking whole pots of coffee in single gulps. Like he's just taking all their coffee from them. So they're not too thrilled that the king is around or the emperor is around.
They're very sad about it. And I like his broken English. And then even the worms' reactions to his broken English when they just kind of look at each other like, oh, like when he says things like "greetings from my bottom," and
oh yeah,
which is what I say when I fart. So I thought that was a pretty fun gag they had going.
You do say that often. So the emperor ends up being taken hostage by this bug queen because not to hold ransom or anything, but just because when the babies hatch, they're going to need a lot of protein to eat. And this bug guy or this worm emperor, in contrast to the small skinny worm guys, is like a huge fat dude, like a giant.
Yeah.
If you think of just like any cartoonish portrayal of an emperor that you've seen, it's just this big fat dude who is been eating like so much. Like he may be in a very Invader Zim like way. Not that he's the tallest, but he's the fattest. Like maybe that's why he's
That's why he's emperor.
The emperor. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, that would be an interesting way to elect a government official. It's just whoever the fattest person in your society is automatically the leader.
Right.
Yeah. I think I could get down with that. Like I think I would trust them more than others. That's for sure. This was interesting to me. So like they surround this hotel and they are ready to ice it when they find out that the emperor is in there and held hostage, and then they can't ice it because ice, I guess, or like those low temperatures are deadly to the worms. So they have to get the emperor out before they can ice it and freeze all of the bugs and be able to stop them and everything. So they put Jay in a fake egg, throw him down this laundry chute where he ends up in this like this basement by the basement furnace where all the eggs are incubating and stuff like that. So that's how he gets in. And then K and L kind of bust in through the front door with guns, but also the worms who find out their emperor is in there, and they're hoping that if they save him, they can get a reward and they can have their coffee privileges back and drink all the coffee they want. So they I like how 3 of them dress up as ninjas and one's dressed up as Rambo, and they sneak in too. And like, I mean, they even have swords and everything, and they're just crawling through trying to find them. And one of my favorite parts there is where they're crawling through the air vents, but then they stop for a coffee break. They just brought coffee with them.
Oh,
like
yeah.
as they're sneaking around. I just thought that was really fun.
Coffee break. But ultimately, they are kind of the ones that save the emperor because they do like tackle the queen or something and end up saving him from her. Yeah, it was fun seeing the worms actually as part of the show doing something, not just like at the base drinking coffee. And I think that's something that I saw this show, this particular cartoon get complimented a lot about, is it really let some of the side characters have more attention, went into their stories more. Like in the movie, it's all kind of like, you know, they're focused on the main characters and these are just kind of side gag characters. But in this one, in the cartoon, they expand upon them more and actually you get to hear more of their backstories.
Definitely. And I think that added some like, it was some cool extra flavor we got to put in our proverbial MIB coffee. You know, we got to add a little bit of some different spice to it that we weren't used to. And I liked that.
Yeah.
Because in all honesty, the 2 Men in Black characters and L, I think are the least interesting, honestly. I think Zed and Jeebs and the pug, Frank, and the worms and the twins, they're all way more interesting to me than these main characters. So the more that they use them, the happier I am watching this cartoon.
Do you feel like that's intentional to make the main characters kind of projections of ourselves, so we could like put ourselves in the shoes of the, you know, J and K and witness all of these happenings around us?
I think that J is the only one that we're supposed to be putting ourselves in.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense because K is more the mentor type.
Yeah, I mean, Jay's supposed to be kind of the everyman, but he's also a goofball screw up. So, I mean, that's who I would be.
Like us. Yeah, exactly. That's why
like
we relate.
Yeah. But the worms, I guess everyone gets into this the room where everything's going on. There's a big old fight. They get the emperor out onto the roof and give the order to freeze the hotel, but the queen got out also, and along with some of the others and stuff. So there's a fight out there on the rooftop, and basically the worms, they're like riding like a food cart or something, and they slam it into the queen and knock her away from the emperor and basically save him.
And then the queen ends up getting frozen also by, I think, the little gun that Jay got.
Yes.
So yeah, the day was saved thanks to the worm guys.
Thanks to the worms.
The worm guys were kind of hoping for a reward, and they asked the, you know, emperor if he would give them like a lifetime supply of coffee or something. But he said this phrase that was there was affirmation to it, but it didn't make any sense, as most of the sentences he said didn't, since it was all in English. And they're just like, no, like tell us in worm speak. Like, we don't understand what you said. Like, is this good? Is this bad?
They were very sad. Poor worms.
Yeah. Well, Chris, looks like it's about time we send our inner kids off to the MIB headquarters to apply as Agent lowercase c and Agent lowercase j, then see what they thought of Men in Black, the series.
This cartoon was kind of fun because there was all these aliens and they got to blow them up with these crazy guns and things, and there's worms drinking coffee. But the aliens kept wearing skin, just like my Uncle Jerry. And Mom says we shouldn't talk about Uncle Jerry. So I don't think I'm supposed to keep talking about this show anymore. But I gave it 3.5 bowls of alien Jewish pugs out of 5.
Even if it received the exact proper amount of appreciation in its time, this still feels like an underappreciated show. I really dug the art style. The drier, more conversational tone actually made this more interesting than if it had been another action-heavy cartoon. And even the side characters / aliens had me intrigued enough that I wanted to know more about them. For instance, I hear there's an episode that explains why the worm guys love coffee so much, and now I feel like I have to know. Overall, I'd give Men in Black this series 4.5 big bowls of Noisy Cricket cereal out of 5. I think you should do yourself a favor and check it out. In closing, now that I've seen how alien bugs are able to cram themselves into human skin suits, I am convinced that my teacher has to be one. Why else would she give homework over holiday weekends? Now, how to sneak a roach trap under her desk undetected by her acute antennae.
That's something that I never was able to figure out. I put all kinds of traps under all my teachers' desks, and the only thing I got out of it was detention.
They just never fall for them.
Never fall for it. So you have any final thoughts on Men in Black?
Like I said, I stepped back into the series remembering it fondly, and I really had a good time with it. There was nothing about it that was like, oh, that didn't age well or anything like that. It's not the perfect show or whatever. There's some of it, it's kind of slow at times, but it feels almost like intentionally so. And like I compared it earlier to Extreme Ghostbusters, if you're a fan of that show, you're really going to like this one too. Like that was just the perfect show for me at that age. It was kind of dark and brooding, but also action-packed and fun. So it was a great in-between show if you're into that kind of thing. Watch the first movie, enjoy that, then watch the show to fill in some gaps. And then if you want to later watch the second one. It's not bad, but it's not great. But the show, I think, is really worth your time.
Yeah, I thought the show was all right. It wasn't my favorite as a kid. It's still not my favorite now, but the animation was good. The alien designs are really good. Still really creepy for a children's cartoon, but all in all, for me, it was just kind of average. So I don't think I'll continue watching more. I'm definitely not going to watch Men in Black 2 because I have not seen it. And yes, I heard the same things. There was another Men in Black movie where I think it was like Jay went back in time and met a younger Kay. So there's already been 3. And now I think the next one's the 4th one. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but that one, it's not J and K anymore, or if it is, they're definitely being done differently because they're using, I believe it's Tessa Thompson and Chris Hemsworth as the 2 characters. So I mean, you know, maybe them, I don't know. It's not going to be good. Never mind. It's Sony. I don't.
No, you're right. Like there is a Men in Black 3 that came out in 2012. Man, I am just way out of the loop on the Men in Black stuff.
Yeah, you are. There's a reason for that. I mean, I don't think anyone cares. And there was a proposed Men in Black movie that got scrapped during that big Sony hack a couple years ago. And that proposed movie was they were going to cross over Men in Black with 21 Jump Street. You know, that whole franchise.
Oh, yeah.
And they were going to bring them together, which could have been really funny. And also, it's like one of those things I never would have asked for. So, like, don't feel like you guys need to make that.
So thank you, Christopher Valencia, the legend, the myth, the orange, for suggesting this to us. I had a lot of fun watching it again.
Yeah, it was cool. I'm glad I got to revisit it and affirm my idea that it's okay. But I mean, I still get, I have got a little more appreciation of it now than I did as a kid. So, I mean, there's that.
Well, listeners, looks like milk supplies now run dry, so it's time for us to say goodbye. Next week, we'll be watching
a Christmas episode. If you've been paying attention on social media, you'll see that we have a poll. going for what we're going to watch for our Christmas episode, which is this next Saturday. So it'll be a complete surprise. We have no idea what it'll be, so I can't tell you what it is. So we just know it'll be Christmas related. So there. And real quick, we have a 5-star review on iTunes, and I'm kind of afraid to read it. This is from CoolCat552, but spelled with K's instead of C's.
Oh.
The title is Winx Club.
Oh, no.
CoolCat552 says, just heard your Winx Club review. The show does get better, and they replace the voice actors mainly for English. The shows for English and movies for English had separate voices. Nickelodeon has different voices because it was a different network. It's just basically giving us some info on Winx Club, but still gave us 5 stars. So thanks.
Was that the closing of it? That was it?
That's it. That's all.
Okay. Well, they didn't like harshly judge us or anything. They're just kind of informing us. That's fair.
Winx Club's the episode we will never live down because that is the episode we get constant crap about.
I can't believe we're still getting stuff about it. But hey, man, if it's drawing in 5 stars, like, I don't mind.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. Well, we did get another, this wasn't a review, but we did get something recently about Howard Lovecraft and the Frozen Kingdom on Reddit. This Reddit user basically said that they watched that movie with their 6-year-old, and we nailed every aspect of that movie.
Oh, really? Oh, good.
Yeah.
Someone agrees with us.
Yeah. So that was by user E_Morris71. So thank you, E Morris.
That's awesome
for those kind of words and letting us know that we were right about Mr. Howard.
Mr. Howard. Yeah.
If you haven't listened to that episode, go back and listen to that, and you'll understand how ridiculous that is.
Once again, I'm Joseph.
And I'm Chris.
We'll see you next Saturday.
Presented by NerdSloth.
A place for lazy nerds.
If you like what you heard, consider donating at patreon.com/nerdsloth so we can continue bringing you quality shows. Be sure to also leave us a review and share your favorite episodes and clips on social media. If you're looking for more content, visit us at nerdsloth.com.